In the last week alone, we've seen three of the biggest earthquakes of the year: a 7.3 in Alaska, a 6.7 in the Barents Sea, 7.4 off the Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia, and now a massive 8.9 again in Kamchatka, part of a seismic burst releasing as much energy as 250 Hiroshima bombs. What's going on? From solar storms to lunar tides, the Earth's crust is under pressure. And it's not just random. Let's break down what scientists are seeing, why it's happening now, and what it could mean for the Ring of Fire, and maybe the next big one. On July 29th, a rare earthquake burst hit just off the Kamchatka Peninsula, northeast of Japan. It included 1 magnitude 8.9 quake on July 29th, a strong 7.4, and followed by many powerful 6.6 and multiple smaller quakes over magnitude 5. When you combine the total energy, this sequence is equivalent to a 7.6 earthquake. That makes it the strongest global quake since March, when a 7.7 hit Myanmar. Kamchatka sits in the volatile Ring of Fire, and this burst occurred 2,500 kilometers from Alaska's 7.3 quake just 4 days earlier, and exactly 2,500 kilometers from Tokyo. That's not just geography, it may be a clue. This month, we've seen a 6.7 in the Barents Sea on July 14th, a 7, 3 in Alaska on July 16th, and the Kamchatka 7.4 burst on July 20th. All these follow a seismic wave pattern, potentially transferring stress across tectonic plates. Some geophysicists believe seismic waves travel along faults and prime other regions to rupture, like dominoes across the Pacific. Here's where it gets interesting. In the same time frame, Earth was hit by 3 high-speed solar wind streams, with a 4th on the way. These winds come from coronal holes on the Sun, regions of low-density plasma that shoot high-velocity particles toward Earth. One upcoming stream is from a trans-equatorial coronal hole, the kind most directly connected to Earth's magnetic field. Historically, every magnitude 8+ earthquake since 1973 has occurred during such events. Even more alarming, solar wind density has dropped to 0.1 particles per cubic centimeter, an extremely rare vacuum-like state. The last time we saw this, right before the 2011 Japan 9.1 quake and tsunami. After a major earthquake, Earth's ionosphere, the layer filled with charged particles, usually sees a drop in electron content. But the Kamchatka quake? It showed bursts of ionospheric energy both before and after the quake. That's opposite the norm. These anomalies, especially on the daylight side of Earth, align with solar input, suggesting the Sun is playing an even bigger role in these seismic events. Tidal forces don't just move oceans, they stretch and compress the Earth's crust. Historically, major quakes cluster around new moons and full moons. Example, the 7.8 and 7.5 quakes in Turkey, Feb 2023. Full moon. The upcoming new moon on July 24-25, combined with solar effects, marks a potential energy spike window. This year, we have seen unusual activities around the ring, and the recent 6.7, 7.3, 7.6, 8.9 pattern may be a precursor to something bigger. Experts call this bottled up energy. Stress building deep in the plates, now beginning to release. Japan has recorded over 2,000 quakes off its southern coast since June, the biggest swarm in years. The strongest has been in the 5.6 to 5.8 range. Swarms can be foreshocks, early signs of something bigger. A 7.5 quake, for instance, would release 32x more energy than a 6.5. Meanwhile, California has been unusually quiet, especially on the Hayward and San Andreas faults, both overdue. New Madrid fault, U.S., dormant, but still a threat. East African rift, active from deep mantle plume, long-term tectonic splitting. Kilauea volcano, Hawaii, entered its 29th eruptive phase. This tells us seismic energy is moving, not isolated. We're not here to fearmonger, but to stay informed. Earth systems, from solar storms to lunar tides and tectonic faults, are all interconnected. The Earth is in a heightened seismic window right now. That doesn't guarantee disaster, but it does mean be prepared if you live in a fault zone. Stay alert through late July and early August. And most of all, understand what's happening. The planet is shifting, and we're watching in real time. What do you think is causing this seismic spike? Comment below and let's break it down together. Subscribe to Decode for more deep dives into Earth, space, and the forces shaping our world.